You are now listening to About That Business, hosted by Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an entrepreneur and personal coach who has helped people reach their fullest potential personally and professionally. Take it away, Rom.
Thank you, Marshall. The real wealth that must be passed on. You know what? I always see a lot, especially in black circles, about passing on wealth. And of course, you get a lot of people, a big thing about passing on wealth is passing on like a home or something or a house. I even had someone come on here and say, hey, you should get a house so you can pass it on to your children, right? And then you have some people say, well, I'm going to create a business to pass on to my children. Look, I'm going to tell y'all something now. It's good to get a house. It's good to pass that on, but that might not be the type of wealth that they really need. Not to say there's anything wrong with it, but that's not always passing on wealth from my experience. Reason why I said this, I've seen plenty of cases where a parent did pass on wealth to, a house or even a business to the next generation, to their children. And they sold it as soon as possible. Like there would be a lot of property or whatever. They sold it. They sold it or something. They didn't build on it. I've seen that in my own family. Somebody leave a house or something, paid for a house. All of a sudden that house is gone and then, the money is spent up, right? Because, see, that's the thing you got to think about. See, wealth is good and a house is good if the intention is always to keep it in the family. Oh, it's good then, but see, a lot of times the children might not have the same mentality as the parent. Because they didn't work for it, or they might not even want it. So they ain't thinking in the same way. And that's what the important thing is. Thinking. Or in business. I've heard stories about people leaving a business to some young people and then they end up having to sell it or something. Or, they can't maintain it. So how's that leaving wealth? No. The real wealth that must be passed on is not tangible. And it's not like in stocks and bonds and stuff. Those are good if you can leave that. But you got to leave somebody who can handle that money. You got to leave the mindset to the youth. See, that's the thing. And that's something that a lot of times they don't talk about. People always talk about all this other stuff, especially in the black community when they talk about wealth. Right? But the first thing is everything starts in the mind. Everything starts in the brain. See, what good is leaving the wealth to someone? See, this is one big issue. Parents don't always discuss how to manage money with their children. They can just kind of do stuff. Or the parent, they ain't really know how to really build wealth. See, that's the thing, too. You can't just say, I'm leaving some wealth. You got to know how to build wealth. Because, the kid might be thinking, I'm going to sell that house as soon as I get a chance. Or I'm going to tell you what that happens when it comes to a home or something like that. We'll use a home. That's usually the biggest symbol of wealth. A lot of times, it's rare that house is even paid off. So sometimes the kids might even have to sell that house to pay off any bills, any lingering bills or something. Because trust me, the bill collector comes due. Right? The bill collector wants his cut. But see, the most important thing is like just teaching them the mindset. See, that's the one secret between millionaires and like even the middle class or poor people. It's the mindset. Now, I did a couple videos on the financial house. In my circles they call it the house of money. People need to know that. People need to know how to build wealth. Even the kid, you got to explain to the kid, okay, how to build wealth. Because that's why I was getting into the difference between a millionaire and a middle class or a poor person. I can guarantee this, with a millionaire or especially a billionaire, You can take everything away from them. You could take every single thing away from them and start them off someplace in the middle of a city with nothing. When I say nothing, nothing. Like especially a self-made millionaire or billionaire. Start them off with nothing, right? And I guarantee within 5, probably even sooner, a couple years, they'll make that million back. The reason why? Because it wasn't about the money or what they started out with. It was the mindset. That's the important thing. Teach if you want to pass something on, don't just leave them some property. They may not know what to do with it. And that's always the case. They don't have the mindset to run it. In fact, there was a famous example of I ain't gonna call this actor's name because I'm not sure the precise circumstances, and I don't want to get something wrong. But the general thing was he took over his father's business. Now this was a known actor, particularly in the early '90s. I'll put it like that. He took over his father's business. His business was like some type of brokerage or something, financial thing. And dude really couldn't run it. He wasn't prepared to. He was not prepared to run it. So that wealth wasn't passed on. The business wasn't passed on. See, if you want to, you give them the mindset to know what to do with that house, to know what to do with the business. That's the important thing. That's what you got to do, right? That's what you got to do for the child, for them. You want to pass that on, the mindset. Because once you have the mindset, everything else falls into place. So anyway, right? That didn't have to be too long. Let's go out there and make that money.